Alrighty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another
Hello.
Pandoran hangout. This is Jerry, otherwise known as Discovering Pandora, and like always, here's Robin, otherwise known as Avatar Robin. What's up, Robin?
Hi. What's up? How are you?
Let me put us on the screen, or mostly you.
Just voices in the background somewhere.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Hello.
Whew. Another week down. Another week in the
I know,
books.
it's September now. Can you believe it?
We're officially in our second month of doing this show. So
Isn't that wild?
That's wild. And many more to come, obviously. But
Yes.
it's just awesome. 3 weeks in a row, and this is a pretty big one, so I'm really excited. This is gonna be it was a lot of homework.
I'm excited.
So I hope
I know.
everybody
I'm very curious.
Yeah, you're about to get the PowerPoint presentation from Jerry on Toruk the first flight.
I forgot my notebook. Hold on. That's very important. We have to class. We gotta take notes.
Pen and paper.
All right.
Or pencil if you need to
That's
erase.
a special one. With a floating mountain.
Castle in the sky.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Oh, and you gotta show them you're
ready.
rocking the shirt. You're rocking the Toruk shirt.
Oh yeah, look guys. I'm in style today.
Yeah. Alrighty. So let's say hi to everybody. So we got so far Snake Eyes, like always, the legend.
Howdy,
we have Farai, that pick leader. Is that what it says? No, that pickle eater. There you go. Starting off good. The Rael, John Connor in real life. Avatar Chloe and Andy Papa. Welcome everybody. Thank you for showing up. And yeah,
welcome.
More of you keep coming in. We have so far 23 getting into class.
Guys.
Take your seats. This is gonna be
Friday.
It's gonna be a long one. So yeah, everybody, we have I think I counted, we have 51 slides to go through. So
when you told me that, I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Hey, see, they got to present the story with the full show, Cirque du Soleil. We can't give you guys all that, so we're gonna try our best, with screenshots and different images, and present the story to you as best as possible. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And if anybody hasn't been aware of this story, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think I like it. I think it's interesting. It's cool to go like thousands of years in the past and learn about the first Toruk Makto. So that's awesome. More history of Avatar is needed. We need more history.
Yes, I agree.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yeah. All right. Mari Leak is in here. Hi, Avatar fam. Oh, hello.
I like that name, Mari.
Yeah. All right. So slide numero uno.
Let's go.
It's just a cover.
I love that
cover. I know. I was like, I had to make something, and I didn't want to just use the images they had already made before. I was like, let's see if I can make something, with and somehow I got that image of trying to do the wings behind the back, kind of like that shot in Game of Thrones where Daenerys and then the dragon was behind her, and it kind of looked like she had that. I was like, oh, let me try to recreate that shot, but in Avatar.
That looks great. I like it.
But all right, so yeah, Toruk the first flight is what we're gonna go through, and I guess I will get started.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Okay. All right. So we start with the storyteller, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I am the storyteller, and I am here to tell you a tale of great bravery and resolve. It is a story about overcoming your fears in the face of grave danger, about standing together in times of trouble, and about facing the unknown to achieve the impossible. It is a tale of brotherhood and courage that took place on my beautiful home moon, Pandora. There is no worse fate for a people than to face extinction. This was the destiny that awaited all my brothers and sisters. Never since the time of the first songs had we faced destruction on this scale, and time was running out.
Oh, no.
Epic intro indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn this music down a little bit. All right. So in what we now call a time of great sorrow, a huge lake of fire rose from deep inside the belly of our world. This fire threatened to destroy the sacred Tree of Souls, our connection to Eywa, our deity and great mother. It threatened to annihilate my people. Ralu and Entu, two Metkayina boys about to become true Navi hunters, decided to listen to their hearts and take matters into their own hands. When they learned that Toruk, the fire-colored predator that ruled the sky, could help them save the Tree of Souls if they could first gather 5 sacred objects, they set out on a long quest that would lead them to the Toruk's hunting ground up in the floating mountains. Along the way, they encountered a like-minded member of the Takami clan named Tsyal, who had truly special skills. But the divided clans, not realizing how clever and wise the trio's plan was, failed to heed their message. How could the prophecy be fulfilled at last? Would a pure soul rise from among us to ride Toruk for the first time and save the Navi from a terrible fate? What and where were these 5 sacred objects that belonged to 5 different clans? And above all, what were Ralu, Entu, and Tsyal to do when they came face to face with Toruk, the deadliest of all creatures on our world?
Oh, wow.
Bro, tell me this isn't fire already. Like this is this is epic already. All right. So the first sacred object, the Toruk talisman, and it comes from the Metkayina clan.
Okay.
All right.
It's like woven.
Yeah. Our tale begins here, at the foot of the home tree of my clan, the Metkayina, a friendly and deeply spiritual people. The Metkayina are excellent weavers, known throughout the land for their beautiful textiles. They weave the joy of working with the loom into every piece they make. Here, among my people, is where the first sacred object in the prophecy was made. It represents our totem animal, Toruk, or last shadow. For you see, if Toruk chooses you as its prey and closes in on you from above, its shadow is the last thing you will see before your spirit joins with Eywa and your ancestors.
Scary.
True story. All right, so let's meet our cast of characters. So we have Entu and Ralu. And I love that I actually was able to get the art so you guys can really see what they look like. So that's pretty awesome.
That's great. Wow.
Our story begins with these 2 Navi boys. Look how playful they are. They're like true brothers getting ready to fly on their own into the world. The older boy's name is Ralu. He is the son of a great hunter. Ralu is a natural-born leader. He's calm, kind-hearted, and always on the lookout for his friend Entu. Entu is the younger one with the red beads in his hair. He was very small when his parents were killed by an angry Thanator, the most dangerous land creature on Pandora. Ralu's family took him in and raised him as their own. The two boys have been inseparable ever since. And I know it said the red things in his hair. Here in the art, it's like kind of green at the top for Entu, but it really is red in like the play and thing like that. But this was concept art. Okay.
It looks really cool though.
The Metkayina share a deep connection with our moon Pandora. The natural world is part of them, and they are part of it as well. They live inside the giant home tree where they sleep, eat, weave, dance, and celebrate their connection with Eywa. Right now, though, the Metkayina are getting ready to guide their brothers Ralu and Entu into adulthood. These two boys are about to experience the most important moment of their young lives. The time has come for Ralu and Entu to pass the first trial of their initiation before becoming true Na'vi hunters. Ralu completes the difficult trial flawlessly, but his friend Entu breaks his bow and fails. Feeling humiliated, he flees deep inside the forest. In order to seal Ralu's initiation, the shaman of the Metkayina hands over the Toruk talisman to the new hunter, who must now find his place among the people. So that's how we obtain the first of the sacred objects. So he earned it by completing his trial. Entu did not. All right. The shaman has a terrifying vision, though. She sees the Tree of Souls surrounded by a lake of liquid fire. Our most sacred place, our direct link with Eywa, is burning. The worried Olo'ektan, the clan chief of the Metkayina, knows that uniting the clans in these times of division will not be easy. And that's a look at the shaman on the left, and that's the Olo'ektan at the moment of the Metkayina. And that shaman looks dope.
That looks amazing. Look at all the detail in the costume.
Yeah. All right. Great. So let's meet our third protagonist of this tale. With the T being silent, it's Tsyal, and she comes from the Talkami clan. Tsyal lost her mother at a tender age. She was raised by her grandmother, who was revered in her clan for her unique remedies and concoctions. Spurred by her grandmother's legacy, Tsyal has taken great pride in creating innovative mixtures and recipes of her own. With a mere seed, she can put the fiercest beast to sleep. With the frailest looking flower, she can induce the most beautiful dreams or provoke the most terrifying nightmares.
Oh.
I like her outfit. It's all like like just like super naturey, because they're like really one with like the nature and the like everything's an ingredient to them. It's awesome. Meanwhile, Entu takes refuge at the Tree of Voices, where he finds comfort in times of trouble. This is where he listens to the voices of his ancestors, among them his mother and father, who live within Eywa. But right now, the message his ancestors are whispering in his ear is vital and far-reaching. Only Toruk can help save the Tree of Souls. To approach Toruk, you must first gather 5 sacred objects that come from 5 different clans. The Toruk talisman is the first of these sacred objects. Now they have to find the 4 remaining ones to fulfill their quest. Suddenly, a pack of viper wolves known as Nantang to the Na'vi attacks, but Tsyal, who was watching from afar, chases the creatures away with the smoke of a special seed. To the boys' complete amazement, meanwhile, a swarm of wood sprites slowly gather around them, a sign that they are in the presence of something or someone very special.
Oh.
Now we go towards our second sacred object, the Tranquil Seed from the Talkami clan. The special seed, the second sacred object in the prophecy, comes from the jungle where Tsyal lives among her people, the Talkami. These gentle people possess a great skill that they have refined over many generations. They combine elements found in nature to make powerful potions and remedies. Where most see a beautiful forest full of plants, flowers, and trees, the Talkami see a great collection of ingredients and recipes, each with its own special powers and virtues. With this skill, they make the Tranquil Seed. Breaking the kernels of this seed releases a smoke that can calm the wildest animal.
Oh.
And yeah, their costumes are awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's one thing about this story. It's like, I think it was one of the first times we were able to meet so many different clans, and you got to see, their different styles and cultures. So it's really cool.
There's so much detail in everything.
All right. So Tsyal introduces Ralu and Entu to her father, the clan chief of the Talkami, who laughs at the youngster's plan to find Toruk. The two Metkayina boys are forced to leave the forest empty-handed, without Tsyal and a tranquil seed. When they reach a river, they are cornered by strange creatures and forced to jump into the stream. But Tsyal comes to their rescue aboard a raft. She has disobeyed her father, bringing with her precious seeds, the potion of the Talkami. The quest can continue. The three friends reach the desert and set off on foot. When night falls, they doze off under the starry sky. Now we're on to the third sacred object, the Thanator bone or Palulukan bone from the Anurai, which we recently covered when we were reading Solek's Journey.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I remember that.
So our three heroes have found their way to the land of the Anurai clan, where they hope to find the third sacred object, the Thanator bone. The noble Anurai have settled in the middle of a vast sacred bone sanctuary. There they search the land for perfect elements that they turn into works of art. They make beautiful sculptures and musical instruments out of the ancient bones of animals whose spirits now run with Awa, our great mother. And now we get to see what they look like. And once again, It is awesome. I love that it does match the look we kind of saw in the comic recently.
Oh, for sure, and,
yeah. I like the mohawk ones in the back. These ones had the craziest like headdresses so far that we've seen. So like, it's pretty cool. There's the sacred object on the left from a Thanator, Thanator's bone. So it's like the dry mouth Thanators.
Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, is it like a tooth or just a bone?
It just calls it a bone. So yeah, because that would be a huge tooth. I don't think they have teeth that big, but so just some kind of bone from their body, I guess. They I guess carved this, and it looks like it's a horn. Like that.
Yeah, you can exactly. It looks awesome. I love the detailing.
I'll just take a little bit of a break. Something in the water. As more of you file in, we now got like 75 of you tuning in. Thank you. Take your seats.
Welcome,
seats. We've added Risa. Is there anywhere I can read along captions? I know I always put them on screen for you guys. But this one I tried. There was just 51 of these, and they were already time consuming. So I couldn't like put all the text that I'm reading onto them. So I apologize. I'll make sure in the future to really do that because I know now I really do know that some people do like reading along. So I'll make sure to do that. Sorry about that.
I'll be able to help you then as well.
But yeah, there's nowhere really online. I'm kind of getting this from the program book. So if you went to the show when it was running, you can buy this, souvenir program book. And like in there, it gives you pretty much a condensed version of the story, kind of, recaps it for you. So that's what I'm reading along with right now. Dino Shark, McFarlane Toys. Where's that Toruk figure? Definitely, that was one of the biggest blunders. It's like, I know you couldn't do the 7-inch scale version to match, your 7-inch figures because that would have been huge. The Ikrans were already really big, but they did that smaller scale. You could definitely have done a Toruk in that smaller scale that they did, where they still released some of the Banshees.
I have a little Toruk, but it's from the Kinder Egg.
Oh yeah.
Put me on screen.
Oh yeah, let me see. I know. I'm looking at it in the backstage in the studio.
Everybody's like, "What's going on?"
You're right. 1 segundo. There we go. All right.
So this is just from the Kinder Egg, but they really should be making one like the. I'm looking up there because all my Ikran figures are there.
Yeah.
From the McFarlane ones as well.
Yeah, because they did those really cool. Because they came with the little stand, right? So I believe they did. Yeah. Yeah, the detail on those were pretty good. Don't hurt yourself.
Like imagine, are these in McFarlane? Yeah, right.
Yeah, those are McFarlane. Yeah. Yeah, those are dope. I gotta do like videos on all the ones that I own, like little turnaround videos. The detail on those little riders is obviously very lacking.
I know.
But once you from afar, once you put them on the Ikrans or something, then it's really cool. It completes the picture. But yeah, on their own, sometimes they don't even have eyeballs painted on. I'm like, wow. But yeah.
Yeah, you can really see that the detailing is low. But from far away, it's great. And also
from far away,
the Ikran is incredible.
Yeah. Man, I gotta line all mine up. Alrighty. Let's get back to the story. Let's see. I didn't want to move too quickly. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going through this a little bit quicker than I thought.
Yeah, we can chill. We can relax.
All right. So back to the Anorai clan.
Yes.
All right. So during the night, Entu once again has a nightmare about the Thanator that attacked and killed his parents. Meanwhile, as the young Navi sleep, the Anorai are paying tribute to the Thanator, their totem animal, by building a kinetic structure with parts of the creature's skeleton. So pretty much go back to that right there.
That looks so cool.
When the trio awakes, Ralu picks up a unique bone and recognizes it as one of the 5 sacred objects. So back to Exhibit A. He blows into it, which immediately draws Toruk's attention. When Ralu and his friends try to chase after the predator, they are surrounded by viper wolves. The trio runs off in the distance as a pack of angry viper wolves are on their tail. Sorry about that. Now we're on to the 4th sacred object, and I actually think did they misspell 4th? Shouldn't there be a U in there?
Where?
Or
oh yeah, no, you're right. They misspelled.
Because I was like, am I tripping? Because that was in the book. I just took that picture from the book. That was not me. Because I also wouldn't be able to write the French up there at the top.
Yeah, no, they misspelled it.
Okay. Cirque du Soleil. Hey, at least English isn't their first language. You can tell it's the French up top. So we're just reading the translation. All right. So the This one is the Warrior Shield from the Tipani clan. And once again, we did recently meet them and see them in the Solix Journey comic as well.
Yes, I remember that too.
And yeah, so they get these shells from like the Curus crab or even other different creatures, and they kind of wear them as like shields and armor pieces. It looks pretty dope, so I like their style as well. And they even get little bitty ones to make little ones. So
I was just about to bring that up
you
too.
just kind of have to pretend that one didn't happen. And let me see if I can get you a better look at one of them. Here's the one. So here's another one where you can see them wear some of the armor pieces as well, and even the itty bitty. You start on your shit from smallest, you work your way up. But but yeah, I like this one. This is cool. I wonder if this suggests that they were there during the battle of the Hallelujah Mountains, because that's like an amp suit that she's on top of, and then like the stingbacks are also attacking the suit. So maybe that's what it indicates. It's pretty cool.
Looks like it.
All right. Okay, so let me go back. My valiant brothers of the Tipani clan are fierce warriors. They are known all over Pandora for both their spirituality and their great hunting skills. When the Tipani hunt, they move without making a sound, like water slipping through the cracks in the ground. The Tipani are unusual in that they wear armor and masks. Just as energy flows in all things, these warriors seek to take on the skills and instincts of the animals they hunt. For a Tipani warrior, the shield is a symbol of the protective power of Eywa. Okay. So here we see the Viper Wolves and the Tipani Warriors. It says a group of Tipani warriors chase away the Viper Wolves. But when one of the creatures threatens to kill Entu, the warriors number 20. The Tipani chief is forced to kill the beast. Angry at having to put a creature to death, the warriors decide to test the trio's valor in a symbolic battle.
That's like when Neytiri had to kill the Viper Wolves for Jake.
Exactly.
Like, they did not need to die.
You should not be here. So after the intruders reveal their plan to find Toruk, the clan chief does not believe one word of the story. So this is a symbolic battle, and then the clan chief orders them to go home. So for this clan, their Olo Ektan, for lack of a better term, is female. So that's one of the first clans we see that their main leader is not a male; it's a female. So
that's interesting.
And they don't call it the Olo Ektan, so they keep saying just the clan chief. So I wonder if Olo Ektan is necessarily like a masculine term. I'm not so sure about that. If anybody in the chat knows, just let us know. So she orders them to go home, escorted by 2 warriors of with their impressive shields. This time, it seems as though all is lost for the trio. But I mean, hey, if you just got escorted by 2 Tipani warriors with shields, it kind of looks like you came away with that sacred object to me. You know what I mean? So inadvertently, they did come away with that object. So that's cool.
That's true.
All right. So now that they got that one, the 4th one, we're on to the last one. The 5th sacred object is the Rider's Visor. And this is from the Kekunen clan.
Wow, that looks That looks really interesting.
And you'll see what the visors look like more on them right there, on like they're wearing them right there. So that's the Kekunen clan. With their quick reflexes and nerve, my brothers and sisters of the Kekunen clan are masters at the art of flying the Ikran, known to the sky people as the mountain banshee. The visor these riders wear protects them from the great winds, especially when diving towards a target. In order to become hunters with their clan, all Na'vi must participate in the ceremony known as Iknimaya. They must select, capture, and bond with an Ikran. Once the Na'vi make the dangerous climb up to the floating mountains, to the Ikran Rookery, they must choose their own Ikran. If the Ikran also chooses them, it will try to kill them. If the Na'vi survives and is able to make the Sahelu or bond, the first flight seals the connection between the Ikran and the rider for life.
Something we're very familiar with.
And I was going to say, does that kind of sound like maybe the Metkayina's, the fact that they do that now, it kind of seems like it originated from this clan.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure they
taught
each other.
Because they didn't mention it recently when it said in the beginning when Ralu and Entu were doing their trials, it didn't sound like completing that was part of the trial, whereas in the first movie, that is like what you have to pass in order to now become like one of the Metkayina. So it seems they might have adopted it. Yeah, because I'm like, it seems like it originated from them, and maybe after these events and thousands of years from now, it seems like they kind of adopted, their rite of passage, and like, you know what, we'll put an emphasis on the Ikrans as well. That was just my little observation. I could be wrong.
No, that's really good.
Because I was like, they really went into great detail to completely describe everything we know from the movie. And I'm like, oh, it's because I think right now the Metkayina don't do that yet. All right.
No, they must have like maybe made friends or something like that, and then at some point just taught each other.
Yeah. So at dusk, the trio and their two escorts arrive in the Kekunen territory and stare in amazement at a flock of mountain banshees flying in circles overhead. The unnerved youngsters have to duck out of the way when the creatures swoop down from the sky. When the Kekunen notice the trio, they quickly surround the intruders. So there's the Olo Aikdon for them on the left. He looks dope. Oh, wait. Is that the... Yeah, that's him. And then he's there on the right as well. But it says, when the Kekunen clan chief notices the sacred objects they carry, he recognizes the signs of a prophecy that has been passed from generation to generation among his people, stating 5 sacred objects for the Toruk, the talisman of the Metkayina clan to recognize it, the horn of the Anorai to lure it, the seeds of the Talkami to soothe it, the shield of the Tipani to protect against it, the visor of the Kekunen to guide it, and a pure soul to ride it. The chief agrees to help. I know, right? I'm like, bro. And it awfully sounds like the dang passage from Lord of the Rings about the One Ring.
Yeah.
And then the darkness bind them. But the chief agrees to help Ralu, Entu, and Tsyal to pursue their quest and guides them to the place where Toruk likes to hunt. And that obviously is up in the floating mountains. It is one thing to find Toruk. It is quite another to mount the creature, make the bond with it, and ride it. Sheer madness. No Na'vi has ever dreamt of doing this. Guided by the clan chief of the Kekunen, Ralu, Entu, and Tsyal climb up to the floating mountains. As they cross a rope bridge, Ralu blows into the Palulukan bone to attract Toruk, who responds right away. As he's looming in the sky, but the force of the creature's wings and flight makes the bridge shake violently, and Tsyal barely manages to chase Toruk away with her tranquil seed. As the bridge comes apart, Ralu is badly injured in the fall and is forced to entrust Entu with his vital mission. Young Entu immediately takes off in pursuit of Toruk. All right, so basically this whole time, it wasn't supposed to be Entu. The real, like, natural born leader was, Ralu. It's kind of reminds me of, recently of Netayam and Loak, the obvious, like, real leader that really had the, that vibe and everything was Netayam. But as even it seems like history is going to repeat itself, something did happen to Netayam, and something here, Ralu gets injured, and now it's going to fall to the other brother, the one that you didn't expect it from.
The same thing actually that happened to Jake himself as well.
Yeah.
Because his brother died too.
Exactly. Oh yeah, very great point. Very great point.
Interesting pattern.
It's hardly brought up again, so honestly, sometimes I forget he even had a twin brother. Because it's hardly brought up again after, like, those first moments of the original movie. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go back to the comments for a little bit. Let's see. Risa says her hair is very symbolic. She also says, I understand. Sorry, I'm just hearing impaired, but I do appreciate it. Oh, I apologize. And like I said, from now on, I'll make sure, even if it's, tons of slides, I'll make sure to put the text, because I do also just like reading it off the screen instead of, like, off screen, like on my phone or a book or something.
Yeah.
I like just looking at the screen and just reading it.
Next week after my break, I'll be able to help you with a lot of things as well. So,
Yeah. No worries. Let's see. Andy Papa says Oloikdan is neutral and it means clan chief. If you want to be specific about the gender, Oloikdan is for a male and Oloikdi is for female. Okay, awesome. All right.
Thank you. Andy.
Which is probably why they were just using clan chief here instead of the Oloikdan. Okay, that makes sense. Or Oloikdi for the female. All right, that's awesome. That makes sense. Snake Eye says the three main characters just sound like the characters from the New Planet of the Apes film for some reason. Hey, that was a good movie. I liked it. Charlie Wood. You haven't seen it? Oh,
don't kill me.
It's okay. Yeah, at least you're not doing a podcast for a podcast of the Planet of the Apes, so you're good. Charlie Wood says Sawanin is also forgotten, sadly. Yeah, she's and I think even in the theatrical cut, very, very little is mentioned. I do like the extended because you get, I believe, a little bit more info, especially with, like, the school. I think they go through the school in the extended version. And one of the comics as well really expands upon that. Robin hasn't read the comics, so as we go through them here, like, keep going through canon stories, it's gonna be cool to get her reaction on them kind of giving us more info about her. So
imagine I randomly said, like, I've never seen the Avatar movies.
Oh my god, at least we know you have seen those. Snake Eyes, I saw the New Planet of the Apes. That movie was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. Charlie Wood, Sawanin isn't mentioned in the theatrical cut at all. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
so
really?
because I really haven't watched the theatrical, like, once the extended, that's pretty much what I watch. So all right, let's get back to it.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Oh yeah, there's their awesome puppet for Toruk, and it's actually giant too. Like, it's not small. If you were watching the show, like, it takes up a huge part of the stage just flying around. It's awesome.
Maybe that should be my next avatar tattoo.
A Toruk?
Mm-hmm.
Think it's fate.
I think so too.
All right. Let's go. As the clan chief and the shaman of the Metkayina gather the other clans, a river of fire threatens to destroy the Tree of Souls. The shaman's premonition has come true. The Tree of Souls is in danger. But yeah, this looks dope. And it like, they actually have it flowing and everything. Like, they have really good technology where it actually looks like lava's flowing and everything. Like, this is I'm sad this is something we can't go see anymore. Like, it's not traveling anymore. It sucks that it shut down like many years ago at this point. So if you have a DVD of this, treasure it, because you know, it's pretty much not up there anywhere. Like, you can watch a very condensed 20 minutes was officially uploaded by Cirque du Soleil, but this is a 2-hour show, so it really jumps. Like, you'll get one scene and then it jumps way ahead and then jumps way ahead. So I'll still watch it to see at least those 20 minutes if obviously you don't have the DVD that they sold during the shows. But yeah, it's an amazing show.
It looks incredible.
So you see the lava's coming towards the tree, here it like completely engulfs it. We can see that the other Na'vi clans, because you can see how big the stage is, they're up there towards those cliffs you see up on the top left, and they're trying to get water to come through there. You can start seeing that some of the water is now, you know, you can see what their effects they have, that it looks like the water's dripping down. So all these different clans are working together to try to destroy the rocks on these cliffs. And once again, it goes back to that Solek's ancestor. We were told that he was one of these that was there trying to break the rocks for the water. Remember? Like, that was his role.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're supposed to imagine that somewhere in there is what was his name? Hautunu'un? Or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Quote me on it. Quote me. But and then we see that they actually do get the water to really break through the cliffs, and it starts flooding out. So we're like, okay, right? It's gonna be good. But here we go. While our young heroes have gathered the 5 sacred objects, all the water of Pandora and all the tears of the Na'vi will not be enough to extinguish the deadly fire. As we see now in the next scene, it just comes back and it even burns even hotter and brighter. The tree literally looks at this point like it's dying. Like, it's dying. It's already burning up. So where are these guys? Come on. The lava will engulf the Tree of Souls until it is turned to ashes. Ooh, fire and ash. How will clans live without their connection with Awa, the Great Mother? How can they avoid extinction? But fear not. When all hope seems lost, Toruk appears in the sky between the cliffs with a young Na'vi on its back.
Yay.
And there we go. And it's Entu. He has achieved the impossible. The creature does its best to help the Na'vi youths reach the island. So he's like flying around with it. You have some other shots. At some point right there when he's flying around, this thing was like massive. He goes to one of the strands of the Tree of Souls and he yanks it. I think it's because it's one of the last strands that's alive. Because if you look to the left, that tree and all those strands right there are already dead. But he pulls one there from the top right there with some lights. So he pulls one of the last strands that still survives. So he's got that. But as they're flying around, I think it gets too close to the lava. So it says, but when they fly too close to the burning tree, Toruk is wounded and crashes to the ground. So you see it crash down there. It does this. Obviously couldn't really capture the full motion of it, but it does this huge ripple effect that you start to see right there underneath. And then it really does just crash. It from the other spot, it comes up a little bit, but they just really can't continue to go. So it crashes down again a little bit further away, and that's its final little resting spot. It says the Toruk is wounded and crashes to the ground, where it draws its last breath. So we see Entu be able to get on the rock. Yeah, this didn't last long. Toruk is there. He's literally on the lava. Like, that is insane. Entu gets to the rock. And you see that Entu like starts feeling for it. He still has that strand right there from, the last living strand of the Tree of Souls. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Toruk takes his final breath.
Oh my god. I was
like, that's insane. Yeah. Really quick. It's like, bro, I just tamed you so you can come over here.
In the first movie, right? Am I correct in remembering that they had a Toruk skull within the Metkayina clan?
Yes. You're right.
Was that this one?
I believe so. People in the chat correct me, but wait. It's either the first one or when Neytiri's looking at it and telling Jake about it. It's either the first one or it's the one that belonged to her grandfather. Yeah. So I think she said, I think it was her grandfather's, who she said was the last one to be.
Right. Not the first one, but the last one.
Yeah, so it's the last one. Yeah, so you're right.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, so these ones probably just really disintegrated in the lava.
I was gonna say like that. They did a great job of preserving
there was probably gonna be nothing left.
Poor thing.
Yeah, this is insane. So I do have a question though, because it doesn't really tell me here in the summary. And obviously I never really caught the live show. So how did the lava get put out? Was it because the flapping of its wings? Was it because when it landed, when it had
fire?
So then I don't know, because there was that one thud, that ripple effect. I don't know if that was supposed to have, because I'm like, if all the water didn't do it, what did it? Because literally, so anybody in the chat also, if you guys, maybe if anybody has actually seen the full thing,
maybe it just burnt, like it just burnt until it was done.
Oh, you're right. Ashes. You're right. So they didn't stop it. It literally did. Destroy the tree. You're right. Oh my god, the answer's right in front of me. And what he helped them do was get that last strand that was up there. That's the last strand that's important. Okay. Wow, that still sucks. That what a terrible fate for Toruk. He's like, man, you could have got an Ikran to get to boost you up, bro. You had to get me? Like, I was chilling. You see this? Wearing a kimono. Like, I'm chilling. You had to come over here in my house, blow horns, and dang.
Oh well. Now they know that they can ride a Toruk.
Yeah, so now, obviously that was the most important part. Now they know they can ride it. It's obviously, still very difficult. And by the time, of Jake in the first movie, none of these objects are used anymore. It wasn't even really talked about. He was just like, hey, let me just get it. Obviously, there's another comic that actually shows us the moment that he does tame it. So once again, that's going to be for another stream that you probably haven't read. So
I've seen the pictures though.
Oh, you've seen some pictures? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do get to kind of see, that moment when he does jump onto it and what happens. But so here we have all the different clans, they're also coming to the Toruk like, dang, bro. You did it.
Wow.
Let's see here. Before we continue, Charlie Wood says, if only they had made the collector's cut the standard for Disney Plus and the 2022 theatrical re-release. Yeah, you're right. Because I believe it's just the theatrical that they have up there on Disney Plus. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched that version because I just have the physical. I don't have the DVD, but I found it fully on Daily Motion. I was an hour and 36 minutes in, I think. Okay, so cool. Toruk gets hurt. Yeah, Toruk's Morto. He gets really hurt. They said thanks for playing. Dino Shark grandfather. Yeah, grandfather instead of the first one. Yeah. Charlie Wood, did they get a sprig from the tree? Maybe the tree didn't survive, but the sprig did. Yeah. I got a little bit more, so we're gonna finish it off here. Andy Papa says Neytiri says her great-great-grandfather. Okay, so it was great-great-grandfather was the 5th Toruk Makto. It does not say to which Toruk it belongs. Okay. And after that...
Thank you.
Yeah, so it actually had been like that's why it was still a really big deal, because it wasn't since her like great-great-grandfather that the 5th one was around. And it can only happen, as they say, during a time of great sorrow. So here it was this lava and this volcano that was threatening the Tree of Souls. Jump all the way to 3,000 years later, it was humans acting as the metaphor for that lava, that volcano that was threatening literally the Tree of Souls. So I want to know what the other instances were. Like, we really need more Avatar history, comics, novels. Give it to me in a game, preferably. But I want to know what these other times of great sorrows were. Like, what was the threat in all these different occasions?
We need a full history book.
Yeah, we really do. And it's probably something that's going to come later, because there's probably so much that we need to get informed of first before you reveal more behind the curtain. Because then it could be one of those things where, like, the prequel can spoil the sequel kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the proper way to watch Star Wars. It's like you watch the originals and then you go back in time, watch the prequels. Yeah, it works the other way too, but this way is better. Andy Papa says, and after that, Entu travels and forms the Sarentu clan. Yes, he does. And Avatar Chloe says grandfather as well. All right, we're all caught up. So let's continue. So you're right. With this last little, sprig of the Tree of Souls, it says, devastated, the brave Navi walks toward the scorched Tree of Souls and begs the Great Mother to help his people.
Sounds familiar.
Swarms of wood sprites suddenly appear above him. Awa has answered his prayers.
Look at all the Atokirinas.
As the reunited clans gather around the first Toruk Makto, life and light slowly return to the Tree of Souls.
Interesting.
The prophecy has been fulfilled at last. All rejoice. And then the last little part is, thus ends the story of Toruk, who gave his life to save ours. Everything is connected. I am an orphan from the Metkayina clan, and I became the first Toruk Makto. This was my story. And then kick in emotional, song in the end credits. Boom!
Wow.
We are done.
Wow. I'm letting it all sink in, and
Yeah.
That's great. Wow. I'm trying to think how this relates to the third movie. just because there's such an element of fire in it.
Yeah, and Volcano.
And Volcano.
And Volcano. But what did you, before we start our little section where we kind of put our theories together, where this might connect with the third one, what was your overall thoughts on this story? Was this the first time you kind of got the full picture, or had you kind of read the whole story before?
Only very in a very general way, never really in this much detail. But I was just chilling here.
You're just I got my kimono on, I'm chilling, bro.
Okay. I was really impressed by all of the detail, and it adds such a layer to everything that we already know that I'm really impressed by it, for sure.
It's surprising how much came out of this. Like, all the clans that we now have seen in the comics, literally they're all clans that kind of stemmed from this, this story, this show. The Tipani clan, the Anrai. It's cool that we now get to kind of like delve into them even more and kind of what they're like now, 3,000 years later. But it's cool that this was the first story that showed us, that Pandora is more. It was more than just the forest Navi, more than just the Metkayina. Because at this point, we just still had the first movie, and the sequels were like nowhere in sight at this moment, So I think they were just maybe
like
casting
the first extra layer.
Exactly. So it's awesome. And what do you guys think in the chat? Did you guys like it? Was it any of your guys like first time kind of hearing the full story? Let's see. Andy Papa, will you also cover Avatar Reckoning? What could be a nice what if video? It is a really interesting story. So sad it didn't get released. Yes. And I actually did cover it in a past live stream, but many moons ago, as they say. But I'm sure we will do a Pandoran hangout of covering Avatar Reckoning, and maybe there's even more things that have been released. Because I'm pretty sure, Robin, I don't think you even know much of the story that was supposed to be in that game, huh?
Not much, no.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be canon. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
It'll be a good excuse. Like me not knowing much about it is a great excuse to dive into, I think.
It kind of makes these even more, exciting to get into when one of us, like, you don't know all of it, because it's pretty cool. You kind of act like as the audience in a way.
Names, but one of us.
The one actually on screen. Charlie Wood says this would have been cool to see live. Yeah, definitely. This is my first time here in the story, and I really like the story, and I wish I could have seen this. You know what I'll do right now, guys? While we're still here, let me download or actually, let me see if I can screen share. Maybe we can watch at least the trailer for it, so you guys can get a visual sense of what some of these little set pieces. Now that you know the story, let's kind of watch the trailer. I'll try to cue it up in a little bit here, and maybe that'd be interesting now that we kind of went through the story, to at least see some of the visuals like in action. So I'll do that.
I think I may have seen that. The trailer. I've seen some things. I'm not that much of a fake fan.
Not that much of a fake fan. Just a little.
I hope people understand that I'm joking when I say that.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they know. Let's see here. I mean, hey, we got a JL Entertainment told you that he's actually really liked it since you jumped on been part of this live stream team, so it's pretty cool. I was like, definitely agree.
Yay, I'm so happy to be here.
All right.
earlier, I was so relaxed. I was just kind of like laying here, and then I saw myself on the screen. I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Sorry about that.
Oh no.
All right, let's see. All right, I will try to screen share now.
Elevator music.
All right, and I'll go back to it, and I'll do full screen. Let me know if it looks a little better. Does that look good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll try to play it, see if it works. All right.
Not gonna lie, it was a little laggy for me.
Oh, okay.
But it looks
well,
great.
I tried.
And I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, I know. It sucks we never got to see it live. Hopefully, in the future, who knows? I mean, hopefully Cirque du Soleil does another Avatar story. Maybe they touch another point in history in the past. It was interesting to get their perspective on why they went 3,000 years in the past. And it made sense because they're like, how could we depict, if we stayed right now in the current time frame of the Avatar, how do we depict humans and then the scale of Na'vi? So they're like, oh, we have to eliminate humans from the equation so that the only characters you're seeing are Na'vi. Because what are they going to have the Na'vis on stilts or something? Because they're so much taller than the humans.
Well, they probably would have done that.
Yeah, for sure. But I kind of like this too. It went to the past. We got to see the first Toruk and all that. So
yeah,
very, very interesting.
A world without our kind in it. Something that we really don't know yet.
Yeah. And theory time. Initial, obviously, you had talked about it off screen. We're like,
yes.
Okay, we're gonna cover this story, and then I forgot who told who, but we're like, wait a minute, towards the end of this story, you basically have the threat here is what? Did I remember this wrong?
No. I was just laughing at the fact that you said I forgot who told who, and I was gonna say yeah, we share one brain cell.
Yeah, I really don't remember who suggested it because I could take all the credit, but it could have been you. Throw you a bone,
Honestly,
throw you a Thanator bone.
I think it was you.
I know it was. I was just trying to be. I was trying to be neutral, like Olo Ekdam, bro. But
Okay.
Okay. But I think, yeah, you're right. That I told him, he's like, wait a minute. The threat in this one was
Yeah, it was
basically the
you. It was for
lava.
sure.
You're like, I would not have this thought. The volcano, the lava, and the tree of souls, right? So I'm like, okay, if you look at what the aftermath of that would be,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we kind of do have a picture in a weird what if scenario. So let me bring it up. Uh, Basically, right here with the
That would be
region
incredible.
of the Ash Clan. I was like, are they kind of like a what if this story didn't end up well? Like, what if they hadn't saved the Tree of Souls because of,
Mm-hmm.
the help of Toruk for that boost? Because other than that, I
Yeah.
really don't know what he did. Um, Stepping
Don't tell
stone
me
to
he
get to the
died for
rock.
nothing.
He died for nothing. No. Um, yeah, I'm like, just starting to think, like, are they basically a what if that scenario ended badly? So their tree of souls did die, let's say. We don't know, because obviously maybe they have some other way to connect to Awa in this what looks like Mordor. Maybe they have another way
Mm-hmm.
to connect. I don't know. But let's say all their connections were
No, I
like
don't
this, like
think.
scorched. Like, what
Yeah.
if they are the embodiment of, so at some point in the past, we don't know when, we don't know um if it was happening concurrently. That's a new thought that actually came to my head today. I was like, what if at the same time that this
Oh,
particular volcano and lava was threatening the one we saw in the Toruk the
yeah,
first
because
flight, what if
that's
this
the
was
thing,
happening
right?
somewhere else? Yeah.
Volcanoes go through cycles, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, how long ago was Toruk first flight?
3,000 years in the past.
Right, that's a very long time ago, so it might as well, yeah, it might have happened again, maybe multiple times, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a process that they honor, or like I do think they're completely disconnected.
Yeah, because from what the vibe I'm getting from this, I don't know if anybody in the chat gets a different vibe. I get a vibe that they are like this. Like, this could explain, this could be their tragic backstory. Why they're like this, because they really don't have a
Mm-hmm.
pure connection to Awa. They've lost that, and like we said, we don't know for how long they have particularly not had this connection. But this could be
Mm-hmm.
why they are the way they are. Because I would doubt that somebody that was, still had a healthy relationship with Awa, that you would seem to be that cruel or that completely
Yeah.
opposite to every other clan and just be that, evil looking. I think somebody in there, your ancestors or something, would be like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Unless they're playing like the
So
rebellious teenagers.
so that kind of story, if that is what happened and what separated them from Awa, it might be something that gives us empathy for their way of life. And we don't have to agree
Yes.
with it, but we can kind of have some form of empathy for why it happened. And maybe it's also the key to, I don't know, I don't know if it's worth or good to change them because, like positive and negative is a perspective. But maybe it's the key to changing them back to or reconnecting them to Awa somehow, like knowing about why and how they disconnected. It might
Exactly.
help
Like you said,
them
you don't have to agree
reconnect.
with the way they are now, but at least we would
Yeah.
have that understanding, and it
Yeah,
would be
exactly.
great. I really, I kind of hope it does. And obviously we always say anything we speculate here, do not make any speculation expectation. Leave everything at the door. We'll always say that. But it would be great if it kind of did connect in that way. Not only will it make this
Hmm.
story more powerful, the Toruk, the first flight, but it would kind of show you, like, look how the clans, the Ralu and Entu and Tsyal, were able to gather the clans to help the Metkayina, for example, and their tree of souls. Because now we know, because this story was still kind of under the impression where it made it seem like it was just the tree of souls for all the Na'vi.
Yeah.
But now we know that's not the case. That was just the tree of souls for the Metkayina, like the forest. What if on the other end, they just didn't have clans that came together to help them? And that's why you would harbor that resentment, especially if it went back that many years. Maybe it wasn't that many thousands of years, maybe even just hundreds of years. You know, that would just be instilled in you in their culture. Like, you know, forget every other clan because they didn't help us at our time of need. We lost our tree and we didn't get it back.
And we learned how to survive on our own, and this is our way now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Just a theory. You know, it would be a cool connection if that was the case, because it really is the only two instances that we've ever heard of, like, volcanoes being involved in the Avatar universe, either from Toruk, the first flight, and now with the upcoming Ash Clan. Those are the only two times we've ever heard of volcanoes involved in the Avatar universe as of now. So yeah, there could be something there, some kind of connection.
Yeah, and I also kind of like the fact that they didn't save the tree. They like in the story of Toruk first flight, it did burn down, which then I think about, you know, like fire and an ash, then something similar is probably going to happen in 3. And then they saved like a small part of that, obviously, you know, like the strands that we saw. And I'm just trying to translate that to what may happen in the future. Thinking about, you know, like the whole Kiri is a seed and that type of thing. But I like that it kind of, because the contrast is really good. I like that it burnt down, because then, you know, everything could start anew. Because again, like ashes are the most fertile ground to grow plants on. So
that's actually a very great point, because we did see that something it did die. Like, you're right. They didn't, it's not like they stopped it at the last second before it died. So you're right. Like, we did see.
It's proof.
Yes, it's proof that we did get to the point where it was just ashes, but we also literally witnessed that life could come back to it. Obviously, they saved a little bit. They gave him a boost, and he was able to, you know, save like a healthy part of a strand before it was all gone. So who knows if it could have come back. But like you said, that's another great point you made. The whole Kiri thing, her being a seed. She's the healthy strand that can bring. Bro, are we unlocking the plot right now? We just put the key
spoiling
in.
The whole movie.
I don't want to open. Yeah, we can't open this door yet, Robin. But I think we're solving it.
We won't do it on live.
Such a great point. That was two great thoughts that you had. And I think when we were talking also earlier, that's it. Just 2. No, I'm about to say 2. 3. You did have a trifecta off screen earlier in the week. Yeah, you actually mentioned that potentially they could harbor some kind of resentment for the actual current Toruk Makto, which is Jake, because so you probably forgot that you mentioned this, but it was a great point. Because if in their history they saw that one got saved because of Toruk and the Toruk Makto, but theirs did not.
They don't want to be saved again.
You're right.
Yes,
like they would harbor a resentment. See, I help you out. I boost you up to that healthy strand myself.
I appreciate.
I just will not die I don't want to die in a lake of lava, but I'll help you out. Oh man.
But yeah, I do actually. That is maybe a good thing to bring up as well, is that they could harbor resentment for the next, like the Ash Clan could resent the next Toruk Makto, or even if they just know that Jake was Toruk or is Toruk Makto, they could be like, we don't want you near us at all, because last time that happened, they reconnected to Awa, and that's not something that we want. So
Yeah,
we don't like you, that type of stuff. It could be. I don't know. Just speculation.
exactly. And I think you're onto it, where if they were to maybe have a redemption arc themselves, it could be that Kiri could be like the key to help them, because like you said, she could be that seed that can bring life back to their region, and that's solving that problem on a small scale. I mean, it is a whole region, so it's not too small. But then you apply it to Earth, so then Kiri can become so basically in 3, either it'll take 3 or 4, and you can see that maybe she can do that for that region and bring it back to life, and they can have like a redemption arc. But then that's how you can go on a macro scale, and she can go to Earth, and as they said, Earth is dying, she can help Earth survive.
Right. So in 3, let's just this is speculation, but I'm going to phrase it differently. Let's just spoil the movies. In 3, she's going to prove that in 3, she's going to prove that she can regenerate
Rejuvenate? Yeah.
Regenerate, I think. Because it can go to Ash, but then she can, regenerate Awa. She'll prove that in 3, and then in 4 and or 5, because they know that, now they're like, oh, we can do that on Earth. And then
exactly,
maybe the humans kidnap her and are like, oh, we need her, or they don't, because they're like the Ash Clan. They're like, we don't want to be reconnected to Earth, or
I
can
think
keep going.
You're literally onto something. It could be why. I mean, they kind of spoiled this themselves, that in 5, we will see Neytiri go to Earth. They did spoil that, both James Cameron and I believe Jon Landau. Like you just said, if they see that she does that, they could kidnap Kiri and try to, like you said, go to apply it to Earth, and then that would force, Neytiri and whoever's still around to also do the journey to Earth, and that's how the saga is going to end over there somehow. However that ends up resolving.
So
hopefully not in Kiri's death, but
God no, I hope. Well, transformation maybe, but
yeah.
I just wonder that if she is able to do that, first of all, how? Obviously, like that's insane. Like, how can she do that? But is the other half of her DNA Awa, and is that why she can, do that again and plant that seed and do the same on Earth? And I wonder what that would do to Earth. But now I'm just getting too many questions, and
I know. I mean, we'll have many more streams where we try to ask more, but try to resolve some as well, because like we have said, the rest of the stream is just going to be, we're just going on tangents now, so no script. We do know that the park that you love so much, we've said this many times, Pandora, the World of Avatar, is canon, and that's set generations after the movies we're seeing right now. So generations can be, at first there was a number they were saying, and then they switched it to generations. But before, when it was still in development, they had thrown the number around of 100 years. But then they just switched it to generations, which can be, I mean, a generation, I think they say, is like 30 years, because it's the time that a child can grow from a child to an adult. I think they call like a generation. So I think they say it's like 30 years. And it just depends, because it's plural. Well, how many generations are they talking about? 3, 4? You know what I mean?
That could
but regardless,
be anything.
The point is that we know Earth gets saved, because the whole point of every park person, or everybody going to the park as a human in the story of the park, is that you're a human that is now going there through these other companies, not the RDA anymore. They're long gone. You're going with ACE, I believe it's called, like ACE. You're going now more like on tours, and you're actually going there to kind of help the Na'vi, and you're kind of helping restore it after all these battles and everything.
And
yes.
It's
and
actually really cool.
Exactly. And then the only thing that it brings up is like, well, so then that means 100, 120, however many years later, Earth is still alive and well. Now there's no concern about Earth dying. We're not going there because our Earth is dying. We're just going there to, like you said, learn and it says even help restore Pandora to its former glory, because probably all these battles are going to cause a lot of devastation. That means, like you said, Earth is saved. So we got to assume somehow Mother Earth came spoiler. Back. Like it really is. And hey, we didn't do it. I was saying they've actually let you know. They've kind of done that themselves. But it's just out there.
Look up whether there is a specific timeline
date or something.
Yeah, I don't think there is though. But I might be able to ask people there when I go there next month.
Oh yeah, you are gonna go there next month. Lucky. Let's see some of the chats. But I was gonna say it also does reveal the future home of the Metkayina. They're now gonna be they're not in that valley. The Mora Valley is just where the humans are, but you hear the Metkayina from up in the mountains. So actually the future home of the Metkayina is revealed to be up in the mountains somewhere. So I mean, they're kind of already used to it. They're kind of already used to it, since right now they're kind of hiding in the high ground camp, right? Like the one where it's within within the floating mountains or something. So I don't know if it remains that, or if they literally meant like they're just gonna live on the mountaintops. But I don't think they do it anymore, because you were supposed to hear as like we were walking the park, you were supposed to hear the Metkayina kind of shouting down to you from up in the mountains, and it was supposed to be part of the story. So
so I wonder why they didn't do that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff they kind of took away. Like there used to be some live entertainment, like there would be like some drumming. They would have people walk around in the new suits, because they don't look like they look now, like the amp suits. Have you seen them? The new suits?
No.
The pictures up there. Like I'm sure, like when we, like I said, we'll do a deep dive episode into it, of course. Right now we're just kind of rambling. But yeah, they had people in new suits that should have been walking around, and they did for like the first year, I think.
Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at this so that you're getting my reaction to that now. But they have actual amp suits.
Yeah, like new ones. Let me see if I can bring it up to everybody here in the chat. Let me find it.
But they say that they just tease that information. So did that actually end up coming to the? Let me just double check.
So I got this one right here.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, see, they used to have those. I'm like, they took away a lot of the live stuff. I don't know why that is. There's also a cool art for it that was in the book. Let me see if the art is up here online.
I'm sure when the third movie comes out, that there's going to be a lot more budget and interest in things like this.
Yeah. Here we go. I got one of the pictures, so let me bring it up. Here we go. So this one was a live person that was actually walking around in these new suits. They're not, as you guys can see, they're not made for combat. These were more to help, the future humans, us future humans, be able to help the Na'vi around, like we said, kind of learn some stuff or even help them with the Pandora itself. It's more, you know, like a friendlier version of an amp suit. So there really was no protective shell. It's so it's different.
They call it just a utility suit.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that makes sense then. Wow.
So I'll read what it says. So it says the the utility suit commissioned by Alpha Centauri Expeditions, which is the ACE company I was telling you, ACE, because now we're going more on expeditions, and also used by their employees, is a highly modified and advanced version of the amp suit used by the RDA. The utility suit features a streamlined design with no protective cockpit and is only used for peaceful research and study. The utility suit is also informally referred to as the Ute suit, perched 3 meters high. A human pilot straps into the cockpit of this exocarrier and controls its powerful yet agile movements. The giant walking suit was designed with articulated hands and a shoulder span of more than 5 feet. It takes 2 months to learn how to operate it. That's cool.
Wow.
So it says the utility suit was created by Lightstorm Entertainment, Disney Parks Live Entertainment, and the Walt Disney Imagineering. So it was like a combination of those three put together. And then it said it made its debut in Pandora, the World of Avatar, back in April 22, 2018, the anniversary of the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom. Sneak preview testing of the suit was done on April 18th. But now they don't do that anymore. Sadly, it would be cool to, you know, if you walked around and, you know, you got to see them there. That would have been awesome.
Oh my God. Imagine like a 10 feet thing just walking by like that.
Oh, man. It says this model is Mitsubishi. I don't know if that's supposed to have any relation to the like the car brand. Because when looking at the stats, it says it was created by the Pandora Conservation Initiative. So that's something we have to research later for another thing. It was used by humans. The model is Mitsubishi. So,
Interesting.
So yeah, usage is traversing Pandora, collecting samples, and studying Pandoran wildlife. Cool.
I love it. So where can I buy one?
Right? It's like, can we just buy that suit and I'll just walk around my neighborhood with it?
Imagine.
But yeah, I even lost track of what we were even like, how we even got to this point. But yeah. Oh, Earth. So Earth is saved. That's the moral of the story. Somehow it's saved, and like you said, major spoiler, because that's pretty much the contention that the RDA has right now with us, or not with us. Oh my God, I'm pretending like I'm a Navi.
So I'm trying to think. So would Earth be saved? Because I'm trying to think back to the rides that I went on, like the information that I saw at the park, and what they tell you if you come from Earth or if you're just part of the humans. Because if it's just humans, you might as well be living in a space colony, you know?
Yeah, no, you actually come from Earth.
Okay,
so basically is so spoiler alert, you know, for anybody that was like, oh my God, Earth's gonna die, it's dying. It's saved.
Calm down.
Yeah, calm down, dude. We get another Toruk, he lands, he dies, Earth is saved. Okay.
Oh, don't give me.
We call them the stepping stones of life.
Can't hear that.
His fragile. No, he's gonna hear the horn that I'm blowing, because he's gonna be the stepping stone to our life.
Don't listen to
him. Oh man. Let's see. Charlie Wood says Avatar Robin rocks. It's great to have two hosts. There you go.
Thank you.
We're probably very behind on these chats, but Charlie says that's a good point. Maybe the Ash Clan is a recently disconnected culture, like how wild elephants who grow up without their parents become belligerent. Oh, there you go. That's a good example in nature. So we're not too far off of what could be. Snake Eye says that's an interesting theory.
Sure is.
Andy Papa in Avatar Pandora Rising was a female Navi. Let's see, Zumkana, that her clan lived in the shadow of a volcano. Yeah, I actually did share that art on my socials not too long ago. I think about a month or two ago. I can bring it up, but yeah, it was the, and we do need to also dive. Like I said, our list just keeps growing into this canceled Pandora Rising game, because a lot of stuff from it has now become canon. Like we said, some of the characters that we saw in the Soul X Journey comic recently, the spider bots. Do you remember those little yellow spider bots in the background of Avatar: The Way of Water? In my books, I have more information on them, but if you do remember, they're the things that help them build Bridgehead so fast. It's not that humans are building it; it's they literally have these spider robots building it.
Oh, yes.
Those were first revealed in Pandora Rising years ago, like years before we got The Way of Water.
See?
And you're just like,
so
oh, that's just
stuff.
Yeah, so it really did reveal stuff. And there's a lot that hasn't been canon yet, but I'm assuming a lot of this stuff is going to be canon, because the Toruk show, Pandora Rising, a lot of these things were in the works before we got the sequels, but it was when they were writing the sequels. So I think a lot of the elements got passed around, like, hey, we're going to have spider bots. Hey, we're going to have, we're going to have this. So I think these different projects cherry pick some elements. Maybe the whole volcano thing from Toruk, they're like, oh, that's an element you're going to use in 3 to explain an evil clan. Well, what if we kind of use that element but twist it in terms of like the past, that we were able to, actually bring the tree back to life after it did die, even though maybe they saw that in the future they're going to use it for the backstory. Yeah, so who knows? A lot of these canceled projects have stuff that is canon or was, and now it's waiting to see if officially some of these things do make it back up there. There was a Arctic Banshee that they revealed that was pretty cool.
There was?
Yeah, like I also posted the art on my Instagram. Wow, it's like somebody doesn't look at my Instagram page, even though it's where we
we're not friends.
Yeah, we're fake friends, fake fans, fake friends.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
But it's kind of cool because they gave the examples that some of their parts were inspired by some Arctic creatures. Like, it explained some of the blubber in them, and like some of their elements were like, oh, this is kind of like a whale, or this is kind of like this animal. So they're different. They're not. Yeah.
I found the art of the Nazi that lived. Did she live, or did her family live under the shadow of a massive volcano? Zumkana? Is that her name?
Yeah, that one.
She looks
Is it just me, or you sound kind of staticky? Could just be me though. But I hear you kind of, like every time you talk right now, it's like kind of staticky.
Uh-oh, guys.
Uh-oh. It's not a stream without...
It's all the lava consuming me right now.
Let's see. Interesting theory, people. Thank you so much. I mean, we could always be completely wrong, so we're never going to claim like, oh, we're right, or this has to be close. We'll take the movie. Yeah, we'll take the movies as they come. No expectations, but it's just fun to theorize. It kind of keeps us going all these months that we still have to wait for the movie. So, and it's the funnest part for me. I like speculating.
Me too, especially when you're finally watching the movie, and then you're like, oh my god, I was right, or oh no, that's completely different, and I don't know.
Exactly, because either like 1 out of 10 things you said
Uh-oh.
was right, and you're like, I got one thing right. But most of the time, it's like, oh, they did something that is even better. Like most of the time, you know what I mean? You're like, I wouldn't have thought of that. So it's a good surprise most of the time. Either
Is my
way.
audio still laggy?
Oh no, you're good now. You're good.
Okay, because I just read the chat that multiple people were saying that I was in the Matrix, so.
Oh no, Robin's in the Matrix. Yeah, Charlie Wood says your audio's fixed. Thank you guys. There we go. Sweet. Got you back. Let's see. What are the new suits? Well, we went over that. I think they said the park was set 2 generations in the future in the 2200s. Could be. I'll try to see if there's a specific date later on. I think they might have, like I said, they were initially saying like 100 years, and then they were kind of changing it. So we'll see. It's good Earth gets saved because the evil of imperialism and colonialism is that it consumes so much. Humans would be just as screwed eventually on Pandora, consuming every natural resource. Exactly. So pretty much like you're saying, the way to survive is not just to pretty much kill where you were at and just consume another one, because then eventually you're going to kill that one and you're going to need another one. You pretty much have to kind of learn how most of the Na'vi, obviously not all the Na'vi, because now we're meeting some evil ones, but most of these nice Na'vi, how you kind of have to work in, try to balance your life with nature and everything. Pretty much what the movies are trying to kind of, tell us anyways. The messaging, like,
Yeah.
Respect our earth and respect nature, and pretty much that's how you can have how you can have a healthy coexistence. Let's see. And Andy Papa says, and there's also an article on the old Pandorapedia I wish I could have read. Many clans, one heart, that supposedly showed pictures from other clans and their names. Did anybody manage to read it? Huh.
Not me.
I know there was a list of like a lot of previous clans that were considered canon up to a certain point, but then now we're not. Like I know some of the old.
Know about that as well.
Yeah, so I know, like, I think some of the old games, like because like that Ubisoft game that came out when the first movie came out, it also had like a Wii game, a DS version, and a lot of these were literally a different game with their own story. They all were just called Avatar, but they were kind of different. And some of them introduced some even more clans that now are not canon. So now the only canon games are so far Frontiers, and they were at the time, or it was at the time, Avatar Reckoning, but they just announced that they canceled it earlier this year. So that was going to be canon. Sad face. What about the mobile game they had? I know that's the one. Well, they had 2, the Pandora Rising that we were talking about, that has given us a lot of awesome art, like this one right here, like all this art that I post, and there's still so much that I have to post on the Instagram to go through, but like the Tipani one, what is this, Entok, my favorite one from issue 2 of Solek's Journey, Entok, he's from the Anorai clan. Yeah, this art comes from the.
Why.
Oh no, you're back in the Matrix.
Oh really? What about? Am I really?
Yeah, it's a little.
Oh no.
It's like you go to talk and it's just like.
Right now, still.
Yeah. Oh, it might fix itself again like last time. No, you don't have to shut up. You're good. You're good. But yeah, that's the game that gave us all this cool art, because these were like, they were generals in the game that you could recruit to your team, for example, from all different periods of history. So this one wasn't canon. It was just kind of cool because it really fleshed out, more of the world, and you got to read some of these lore ones. Like you said, the one that says that she lived lived at the base of a volcano, which was kind of the closest to an Ash clan as as we have come so far, and she actually looked pretty cool too. But yeah, that's where all this art comes from, was from Pandora Rising. And then Reckoning is supposed to take place kind of like Frontiers, like right now, or just in modern, wherever the movies are currently at, just in a different region. And we were supposed to meet the Anorai clan, like this guy's clan. We were supposed to meet that one in the game. We were gonna meet some other ones,
that would be so cool.
And it would have had multiplayer too. They said it was gonna have both, like versus, like PvP, where you can like kind of like Call of Duty. It showed it. It was like first person, like Call of Duty, but also PvE, where you guys could work together against in the story and stuff like that. Kind of like in Frontiers, you can kind of play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
So I'm like, man, that would have been cool on a mobile phone, because you could have even connected with more people, especially if you want to do cool. For the fans of the gameplay loop of like Call of Duty. Well, now you had like an avatar version that, if you're an Avatar fan, it could have been cool, like, oh cool, I'm playing like a PvP, but it's set in the Avatar universe, and you would collect cool guns. There was some gear that looked questionable, which is probably why they because they're like, this is canon, but then it was like, during some of the beta phases, let me take this off, they showed that you could unlock some gear, and it looked like really futuristic spacesuits on Navis, and it just looked kind of weird.
Okay.
But other than that, I was excited for that one. It was cool. Yeah. Well, we still have Frontiers, and the Frontiers ended up really good. And we still have one more story DLC that's going to give us a new region and a new clan that we know nothing about. So that's going to be exciting in the next couple months.
We're going to be covering that as well, I'm sure.
Yes. And I am part of the Ubisoft Creators Program. So it could be that they'll give me first dibs on footage and things of that sort. So especially if I get that, that'll be a stream where we're like, guys, we got exclusive footage we can show you, so if that happens, because it's kind of random which ones they give me access to, but hopefully.
I'm sure we'll do a live like play through as well at some point.
Yeah, like you were saying, we actually have to play through the game. I think that would be some fun streams. Yeah, from the beginning, try to play through it all, because like you said, you have to finish I think the story DLC that's been out so far. You have to finish that. I think I still have to finish the main game. I have to finish the main game. So
from what you told me, yeah.
So yeah, we got to start from the beginning and play through it. I think that'd be some fun streams. Like, we'll basically chat with you guys while we play, things of that sort. Tell us like, hey, go here. And then we will, piss off a Thanator or something. Try to evade the storm gliders. But, yeah, anything else before we wrap up, Robin? Before we go too much on tangents? Just,
I think if I start talking about stuff right now, I'm not going to be able to stop. So maybe we should leave that for a future stream.
Yeah, for sure. Same for me. Yeah.
We might want to mention that we're going on, or at least I'm going on a little break next week.
Yeah, we'll mention that right now. Like she's saying, she's gonna be busy next week, so we're actually gonna take a week break, and maybe it'll be cool. We gotta refresh a little bit. It'll be helpful, and then, but it's gonna be exciting because when we do come back the next week, it's when we're actually gonna cover the last half of Solek's Journey comic, because that's the week the final issue actually comes out. So we will be able to complete his story, as well as that tiny little golden book, 24 pages. We can flip through it and just read that really quick. So that could be a cool one to come back on, but we'll take a week break. So next weekend we'll have no stream, but we will be back 2 weeks from now with more canon stories And what I'm going to try to do is create a playlist. So for anybody that doesn't catch these live streams, I will put each issue that we kind of do our read through and discussion. I'll kind of edit out from our past stream each of those 3 issues we did cover and make them their own video that I can have up on the channel in a playlist that I call like Avatar Canon Stories. So in the future, if ever you guys want to like re-go through those stories with us like we did live, you can watch them. Or for anybody that's just discovering it and doesn't want to sit through the whole live streams, they can do that. And I'll try to do that with the Toruk as well. Like I'll edit out the portion where we just went through the story, and I'll put that up as its own video as well for anybody that's interested. So as we go through more comics and more canon stories in the future, it'll have a home where people in the future can just kind of go back to them and experience them as we did reading through them live and all that. So it's pretty cool. Alrighty, but that will be it from us. Thank you everybody for showing up. I hope you guys enjoyed our story, telling of Toruk the First Flight. Obviously, we couldn't make it as exciting as the live show. I wish all of us could have experienced that. They were riveted by my narration. Yeah, I tried. And yeah, thanks for everybody showing up. Right now, we're signing off. There's like 135 of you throughout the different platforms that we streamed.
Hi.
137, sorry. So thank you guys so much. They're coming in at the end. But yeah, if you guys want to chat with us and chat with each other make sure on Twitter or come to the YouTube live chat, and that's where you can chat with us, kind of direct us sometimes or correct us, probably most of the time. Yeah. For sure.
Feel free to just give us feedback and everything. Like we said, we're just having fun, we're speculating. We could be wrong about a lot of things, but feel free to call us out.
Exactly. But thank you for another awesome Pandoran hangout, both to Robin. Thank you for joining me, and everybody here that joined us today. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks with the rest of Solex journey. Oh, it actually worked. It did work. Goodbye, everybody.